Good Monday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille Show. Thank you kindly for joining us. We are live in Charlottesville, across Central Virginia, across the Commonwealth and the country on the I Love CVille Network. It's great to be with you on a gorgeous Monday to be above the mud. We are presented by Skooma Boutique Dispensary on the Charlottesville Downtown Mall. Skooma Boutique Dispensary is making moves in Charlottesville. David T. and his team have certificates of analyses on everything in the store, Delta 8, CBD, and certainly something for anxiety, pain management, getting you to sleep through the night, or just chill on the couch if you want to have a cold beverage and something heady to eat and watch a good movie. Ting Fiber Internet powers the network. We love our friends at Ting Fiber Internet. A lot to cover on today's program, guys, including the shootings around the city of Charlottesville. I'm a little concerned about that. That's what I'm going to lead the program with in a matter of moments. We'll also talk staffing shortages here in the city of Charlottesville, in particular how they apply to Bodos and Iron Paffles. We'll assess the University of Virginia and its new curriculum offering. UVA is offering real estate as a minor. Real estate as a minor now. We'll talk about that on the program, and I'll dot the I's and cross the T's on UVA and UNC. This past weekend, prime time, it was close until halftime, and then the Tar Heels started beating the Wahoos like a drum. Virginia football has got a lot of positive potential, but certainly some question marks on defense. Let's lead the program with what's happened over the weekend. Guys, we had a number of shootings over the weekend. We had shootings in front of the Glass Building on Saturday, early Saturday morning. We're talking between 1:30 and 2:30 a.m. Charlottesville's finest arrived on the scene. They saw one of the men involved in the shooting tried to sprint and leave the scene. He was eventually apprehended. Then this led to other shootings throughout the night. Police think all these shootings, at least in this particular window of time, are correlated from a revenge or retaliation standpoint. I'm concerned because in 2021 alone, we've seen exponentially more shootings in this city than we have ever seen in 1 year in the history of Charlottesville, Virginia. I will not begin to crystal ball what I attribute these shootings to. I don't think we should underestimate the impact COVID in these last 19 months of anxiety and stress have had on all of us. We all deal with it differently. I just want to see a community and a town get along, do things the right way, and a community and a town that offers safety to all those in the jurisdiction. One of the shootings that happened later Saturday morning, the crossfire went through a neighboring home in West Haven and nearly struck a sleeping resident of a house. It hurts me to see the city that I love impacted in this magnitude. The stakeholders and the influencers, the people with the platform in this community, it's time we galvanize and we figure out a way to create peace in the streets and figure out a way to be the North Stars that the city needs to squash the beef. I'm willing to contribute. I think we all need to listen to learn and not assume we know what's going on. I think we also need to take in consideration the value that police officers have in this community. It's no secret the Charlottesville Police Department is understaffed at levels we've never seen before. You take a department that's understaffed at levels we've never seen before, and you have them police a municipality at a time when COVID has created anxiety and levels of stress we've never seen before. Compounding the matter is the negative impact many have of those who wear the shield because of negative situations like George Floyd's murder in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota, excuse me. I think we really need to prioritize peace, mental health, respect of people, the golden rule, and valuing what the police offers communities like ours. That may be an unpopular statement for many, but it's a statement I'm willing to make with confidence and conviction. Let's stop the violence. Please, before innocent bystanders like the person in West Haven get hurt or worse. Okay, next topic on today's show is staffing shortages. The Bodos on the UVA corner, unfortunately, over the last couple days, has had to close twice due directly to a lack of staff to keep the location running. Now, the Preston and Emmett Street location, they were open for business. The corner location, the staffing was not robust enough to keep it going. In fact, Scott Aaronworth, the attorney in Virginia Beach, we text often about this. Iron Paffles and our friend Catherine Matthews is closing her location on Water Street on Mondays until she can hire and train new employees. Here are two locally owned and operated brands and businesses, Bodo's and Iron Paffles on Water Street, that have literally had to shutter their doors on one of their business days. Bodo's, 2 of their business days, because they cannot get men and women to work at the frequency and clip they need to keep the business going. I think what you've seen is the last 18 or 19 months of COVID have taken a lot of talented players out of the food and beverage scene. And these talented players who otherwise were staffing the Bodos in the UVA corner or Iron Paffles on Water Street have learned new skills and are now in new spaces of work or industries of earning. The staffing shortage no longer can we attribute to governmental aid. Instead, I think it's a direct attributing factor to not having the base of people to keep the many restaurants in this community going in the right direction. I'll ask Harrison this very question when he joins us in about 3.5 minutes on today's show. His model, with 6 or 7 different brands under one parent company and one kitchen, is brilliant. Multiverse Kitchens is a business I want everyone watching this show on every social media platform known to mankind. I want you to get out there and support them. As Scott Aaronworth, who's watching in Virginia Beach, has said, Harrison makes the best egg sandwich I have ever had. I concur. Have you tried his Cubano sandwich? Equally as damn good. How about his cookies? How about his chicken? The man's got skills. He knows food like the Pope knows holy water. 3.5 minutes for Keevil on the I Love CVille Show. Before we get to Harrison, I want to highlight something that the University of Virginia is doing. UVA, I went there, Harrison went there, now offering real estate as a minor. Real estate and its ecosystem, the second largest producer from a GDP standpoint in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I'm proud of the university offering real estate as a minor, and I'm surprised it hasn't already happened. According to the University of Virginia, the Commerce School will host a 15-credit minor that will be taught by faculty across all grounds. The faculty will come from the College of Arts and Science, the School of Architecture, the School of Engineering and Applied Science, and the Frank Batten School of Public Leadership. 15 credits, real estate as a minor. You're going to have to take, as a second year at UVA, the Foundations of Real Estate Finance, a 3-credit course in the spring before you get admitted into this program. It's finally time that the University of Virginia has offered this as part of the curriculum. Again, I will reiterate, the real estate ecosystem, the second largest producer from a GDP standpoint in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We'll get some experts from the university to talk about this new minor right here on the I Love CVille Network. And folks, the last topic before we get to chef and entrepreneur Harrison Keevil is the University of Virginia and its football game against the North Carolina Tar Heels Saturday evening on national television. The outcome did not go as we wanted. That is safe to say. I want to emphasize positives first. That first half, our offense looked as good as any offense in the nation. Brennan Armstrong, our southpaw quarterback, is undoubtedly on the short list for ACC Player of the Year. UVA has so much talent around Brennan Armstrong that it is absolutely scary to think about. This guy has a cannon for an arm, he's a hell of a leader, he's physically tough, he's mentally tough, and he's got the gadget plays, the trick plays, the creativity from a play calling standpoint to utilize his strengths. Those are the positives. The negatives, they are crystal clear. The Wahoo defense got picked apart like Thanksgiving turkey. We could not stop North Carolina whatsoever. The Tar Heels in the third quarter and the second half controlled time of possession. Their quarterback, he rushed for 100 yards and he threw for 307 yards in the air. Their tailbacks, two of them, Tyson Chandler and Caleb Hood, picked us apart. If we don't fix the defense in the running game, I'm concerned about the season. The positives are there. The coaching staff has the talent to remedy the situation. But the defense, I've never seen defense that porous in my 30-some years of watching Wahoo football. Friday night, Wake Forest comes to Charlottesville. It's a 7 o'clock kick. This game is going to be on national television under the lights at Scott Stadium. It's a new opportunity for Virginia football to prove its worth in ACC play. We'll analyze that game tomorrow on the I Love CVille Show. Judah Wickhauer is our director. Judah, if you can hop in the saddle and we'll get ready for Mr. Harrison Keevil. Harrison, if you can join us here, I'm so excited to spotlight you, sir. This gentleman, the entrepreneur, the businessman, the chef behind Multiverse Kitchens, comments already coming in for Harrison Keevil. Jonathan is watching the program. Jonathan is in Crozet. He says, Harrison, we loved going to the farmers markets on Saturdays. And J-Dubs, we'll go over to this camera here on the two-shot. Jonathan says we love going to the farmers market on Saturdays and finishing it up at Keevil and Keevil Kitchen in Belmont. We're excited to support you at Multiverse. We'll head there this week. Scott Aaronworth has questions and comments. Johnny Ornales, who owns El Mariachi in Guadalajara, says we're all short-staffed at all locations. We can't find the people to work. We are working through staffing agents, but people don't show up for appointments. We will get to the staffing issue with Harrison. First, my friend, introduce yourself to everybody that's watching.
I am Harrison Keevil, and I'm the founder of Multiverse Kitchens here in Charlottesville.
My friend, we fell in love with your food at Brookville.
Yep.
We fell in love with your food at Keevil and Keevil. Mm-hmm. We loved seeing your beautiful wife, your daughters, and truly a family business. Now, Multiverse is this dynamic, special behemoth, a labor of love, with, is it 7 brands?
We have 7 individual concepts within Multiverse Kitchens, yes.
Explain the model.
Basically, it is a digital food hall where you can go onto our website and you can order from 7 different brands. All the food is designed to travel, so it's a delivery-based concept. We have Eat In, so it's kind of a hybrid of a ghost kitchen and a brick and mortar. But really it's utilizing one ingredient list and just cooking it in an infinite number of possibilities.
Judah, you got photos that we can put on screen from Sarah Kramer?
Yes, Sarah Kramer Shields.
Sarah Kramer Shields, the photographer. She's fantastic. These are her photos. Dude, how'd you get this concept? How'd you get this idea?
Really, it was born out of
Necessity?
well, no, really, it was actually born out of a personal tragedy, and it was coming out of those dark moments where you start to get glimmers of ideas, and it was a major transition period for me. We were in the middle of COVID, so I was just trying to think of ways to be able to cook for people, and it just kind of popped into my head doing research on ghost kitchens, doing research on just brick and mortars, and just running numbers and having ideas for food, and just figuring out how to be able to put all my ideas into one area and have it make sense.
You said it was born out of personal tragedy. May I ask the personal tragedy?
I lost my father a year ago. So that kind of hit me pretty hard, sent me to a really dark place. But thanks to my family, my friends, our customers, people I get to cook for, it's really allowed me to find my voice as a chef and kind of realize how I can utilize the past 15 years of knowledge to really create something that I truly believe as a chef is my voice, is my way I want you guys to experience my food. And as we grow, our staff will be able to add food to it. So the infinite possibilities, meaning there really is no end to what we can produce out of the kitchen with people coming up with great ideas.
You'll love this comment that just came in. Steph Jones. Brookville was a bright light. Thanks to Jen and Harrison for supporting diverse new food and bev and being committed to clean local food in this community. There's more comments like this. I will try to acknowledge all of you that are watching on social media, giving Harrison props. My friend, the relationship you and your father had and what it meant to you. Put that in perspective.
Well, it's really kind of the reason we have the Keevil tea room. He was British, and it's half of my heritage, and so it's a way for me to honor both sides of myself. My mother's side being from Virginia, being from Long Island as well, and then my father's side being from England. So I have so many ideas in my head for food that to put it on one menu would be very, very confusing, but to be able to put it on individual concepts that all run off the same ingredient list, it really allowed me to have it make sense and kind of create this multiverse of ours, coming from the kind of the multiverse theory or the parallel universe theory of there being infinite worlds, infinite possibilities of combinations of food utilizing the same ingredients. So it was really something that we created, and it's also pandemic proof. We are designed to be delivered. We do not have to shut our doors. We can have you eat in if things happen. We're able to run the menu off of minimal staffing because of the cross-utilization of product and the cross-utilization of cooking apparatus. We're able to really be efficient with minimal hands if we need to be efficient with minimal hands, but we can always provide the same pleasure and the same commitment to producing as perfect a bite of food as we can, no matter what happens.
Jen Finazzo, Sal's Cafe Italia. She says, bravo, chef. Bravo. Jen Finazzo, we love you and Sal's Cafe Italia on this program. We very much do. Another family-owned restaurant in this community. My friend, highlight the brands in the multiverse.
So we have Foulmouth Chicken, which is our fried chicken concept. We have Firebox, which is kind of a Mediterranean, but really primarily grilled everything concept. We grill our cucumbers for our cucumber salad. We have grilled cauliflower steaks, grilled mushrooms, grilled pork chops, wraps. Then we have Long Strange Chip, which is our baked-to-order chocolate chip cookie concept. So like a perfect bite of Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme. When it's hot, you still get our cookies warm to you when they're delivered. They're still kind of gooey in the middle and piping hot when you get them. We have so many. The Keevil Tea Room, is our in-house eating, and that's more of British-inspired bites. Pork scratchings or pork rinds are one of our best sellers. Eventually, probably in the next week or so, we'll add tea service. We'll have English breakfast, black teas. We're bringing in some nitro coffee, so we'll have a good amount of delicious beverages to go with that. We have our Brookville Biscuit and Brunch concept, which is an all-day brunch concept with our biscuits, and kind of the best of the Brookville brunch was what we were kind of known for at Brookville. We have the Toad in the Hole, which is our kids concept, which is pretty much for kids from 9 to 90. It's just really delicious mac and cheese, chicken tenders, things that you would see on a kid's menu, but utilizing local ingredients, organic chicken, local pasta from scratch pastas, local cheeses. So it's really, every brand is highlighting local ingredients, and we're just utilizing those ingredients through all of the concepts.
Eric LaFontaine, the owner of the Ben Barbecue in Scottsville, is watching. He says, I said it in the first interview I did with you, Jerry, the service industry and food service industry is mentally taxing, emotionally taxing, and physically taxing. People are getting tired of how they are treated in restaurants, so they got educated in other fields. That was my plan before we opened up our restaurant. Also, with those two locations you mentioned, Bodo's and Iron Paffles, parking for employees. Employees don't want to pay for parking. That must be an issue for those guys. Johnny Ornalis says we have a staffing issue. We have 3 or 4 restaurant owners watching here that are saying they have the staffing issues. You're a smart dude. You know this industry inside and out. What is going on with staffing here? What's your perspective?
I mean, it's just hard. Whether it's people having to take care of their kids or individuals just finding new fields to go to, it's just created something that's unseen. But the beauty is Charlottesville is surrounded and filled with amazing, brilliant restaurateurs that are going to be able to figure this out. They're going to be able to get through this, and we're going to do it together. If we need help, we need to help each other, and we need to not be afraid to ask each other for help if we need it. And that's really the only way we're going to get through this. We'll get through this together, and people just need to understand that things might take a little bit longer. Things might take, I don't know, things might happen, but we as an industry are trying our best to provide the absolute best service for you guys, and I know every single restaurateur in Charlottesville is trying to do the same thing. So it's a matter of, if we support these restaurants, they'll be able to bring in the staff they need, and they're just going to start paying staff better, and it's going to create an industry that I love and just make it even stronger, because I think eventually people will realize that this is a good industry to be in, because I think COVID has taught us and showed us all of the negatives that this industry can bear, and it's allowing us to fix what were some of the problems.
Give you some props for that.
Thank you.
Aaron King, Western Albemarle's finest. Management at Feast, Aaron King. She says soul food joint, now closed on Tuesdays as well due to staffing issues. Janice Trevelyan, highlighting your pancakes and how much she loves your pancakes. Grace Sherling, watching the program. There's nothing our family enjoyed more than going into Keevil and seeing Harrison's family at the business. We look forward to that. It was one of the reasons we went to Keevil.
And that's, sorry to interrupt, but that's one of the reasons we have an open concept kitchen, so we can...
What's that mean to you?
That means everything to me. I mean, that's the reason I do what I do, is to make people happy through food. It's the medium through which I'm allowed to put smiles on people's faces, and that really means everything to me, other than my kids and my wife and my friends. Being able to cook for our customers, being able to cook for Charlottesville, Albemarle, really whoever, just is the ultimate joy for me. And I've reiterated, and through therapy and just working on my mental health, found out that this is the industry that I love. This is the industry that I will die in. This is the industry that I will go forever to do what I can to make sure that the next generations feel the same love and feel the same adoration for this industry, because I think it's important. And I think, I mean, I would be nothing without it, and I appreciate it more than anyone will ever know.
We got the newsroom at NBC 29 watching the program. We got the newsroom at the CVille Weekly watching Chef Harrison Keevil on today's show. September 18th, 2 days ago, you did a post on your Facebook page that was profound, poignant, that was honest, that was courageous, that moved me, debunking The stigmas associated with mental health and therapy needs to happen immediately, like last year, immediately. And I'll read the second sentence from this. I'm getting a little emotional here. I've known you for a while. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the absolute worst day of my life. And as I reflect on that day, here's what I have learned. Show is yours.
I mean, really, it's mental health is the most important thing. If I can't help myself, then I'm not going to be able to help my wife, my kids, my friends, my customers. I went to therapy. I go to therapy when I need it. But the biggest thing is you don't know what other people are going through. People are very willing and able to put up a facade and say things are going okay when they're really not going okay. So when you do ask someone, how are you doing, and they give you an honest response, I think it behooves us to actually listen and show them that they are cared for, they are loved. It could be a complete stranger. I mean, I tell people all the time, and I put it on my Facebook, if somebody needs to talk to me and I don't know them, I'm willing to talk to them, because sometimes you just need to know that someone's listening, and to be able to be honest with yourself and to be able to be honest with others, I think is a way to really move yourself in the right direction. And it worked for me. In other ways, it might not work for others, but I do think the biggest thing is just loving and caring for everyone, because you really don't know what anyone is going through, no matter how good or how bad they have it. You really don't know. And if you love and care for them, they'll be willing to be honest with you when they need help.
Why'd you make the post?
Because I felt it was something I had to say.
We're relatively the same age. I remember college to now. Come a long way.
Yep.
Married, both of us. I have one son, he's 3. You have 2 beautiful daughters. How's life changed for you as a dad and a husband?
As a dad and a husband, it's the best thing in the world. The hardest part for me going to my job is knowing that I'm going to have to sacrifice time with my girls and my wife. But they believe in me so much that it allows me to fight through those feelings and really enjoy the time that I do have with them. And when I have with them, that time with them, being present with them, when they're at the restaurant, coming over for cookies after school, being present with them, taking time to let them know that I love them and let them know that they are everything to me, and that they can do whatever they want to do and be whatever they want to be. And I'll stand beside them and behind them wherever they need me to be. I'll carry them if they need me to. And that's really what the last year has also showed me, is that you can't take for granted the beautiful things you have in your life, and you really have to focus on them and surround yourself with as much beauty as you possibly can.
If you had a chance to have a story, a conversation, a cup of tea with your father, what do you think he would say to you?
I'd hope he'd say he'd be proud. I know he'd say he was proud. He was my biggest cheerleader, and he was just an amazing man. And Multiverse is a reflection of my relationship with him, my relationship with my mother, my relationship with my family in general. And it's a place where I want customers to come and feel that they are going to be loved as if they're a part of my family, because I'm going to do my best to take care of them. And if they do have a problem, please bring them up to me, and I will do my best to fix it.
Alex Erpy, welcome to the broadcast. Sarah Landsman, welcome to the broadcast. James Watson, Harrison Scott Wallace, Sarah Landsman, welcome to the broadcast. Gwendolyn Cassidy, we'll get to your comment. Keith Smith, hello. You have Richmond, Crozet, Charlottesville, Lynchburg, North Downtown, Belmont, Avon Extended, all watching the program. Stu Rifkin, hello and welcome to the broadcast. Thank you kindly for joining us. How did COVID inspire your business?
I mean, it's everything. It completely... we wanted to create something that was COVID proof, something that would be able to pay employees to be there, to be able to produce enough food no matter if we were shut down or anything, and utilizing the large demand and influx of the delivery model, and working with the great delivery drivers with DoorDash right now. All of them are amazing people. They're hard workers too, so make sure you tip them, and they're working just as hard as we are to deliver the food to you as hot as they can. So respect them as well, because they're trying their best. We're all trying our best to give you the best that we can.
How does Harrison Keevil find or figure out what he's going to eat when you have so much damn good food on one kitchen?
I honestly hate cooking for myself.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know, because I taste everything in bits and pieces, so in my head I know what it tastes like. But I love our fried chicken sandwich, and I love all our food, and I stand by every single bit of it. I've tried and love all of it, but I've just never been a person as a chef in general who loves to cook for myself.
How have Brookville restaurant, love Brookville where the Bevadero is, on the downtown mall, how have Brookville restaurant and Keevil Kitchen influence Multiverse kitchens?
I mean, my mom likes to put it that Brookville and Keevil were my MBA. I didn't go to business school, but I started two businesses, and I learned a lot of what not to do, and I learned how to not run a business, and I learned how to run a business at the same time. Being able to have two businesses that lasted over 5 years each, and the only reason we closed them is because our leases were up and it was time for the next thing. And each has been a stepping stone to where I am now, and I truly believe that Multiverse is the culmination of 15 years of very, very, very hard work and sacrifices that I've had to make for my family, away from my family. And I think it's something that is finally my voice as a chef. I'm not going to cookbooks to figure things out or get inspiration. I'm getting inspired by the ingredients again, and just walking around Charlottesville or Albemarle, or just being outside and in this great Commonwealth and being inspired and figuring out what I want to do.
What did you learn pro and what did you learn con from Brookville and Keevil?
I mean, pro, it's stick to your guns. If you have an idea, see it through. Don't waver from that idea. Don't change. Don't succumb to peer pressure of people saying that, oh, you need to add this, oh, you need to add that. Really stick to your guns is something that was pro. And at the same time, I think it was negative, because sometimes I would let other voices creep into my head, and people who really shouldn't have had an influence on my way of cooking had negative influences, and you just go in that direction too. So it's really having a belief, believing in yourself, and really sticking to it. And I think that a lot of it comes from confidence, and being confident with who I am as a father, as a husband, as a chef, as a human being, and just trying to project positivity, and just trying to be as good a person as I can be, as much as everyone deserves me to be a good person to them, because everyone deserves that in their life.
Brian Lancaster's got a good question for you. And if you could, Judah Wickower, our director, if you can give him a smile over here, he's going to get a good picture. Harrison, guys, is as good a people as there is in the food and beverage game and the Charlottesville restaurant scene. You guys need to support Multiverse Kitchens. This man is doing it not only for himself, for his staff, but his wife and his girls.
Well, to interject, we also need to support all the other restaurants. Yeah,
Especially now.
There are so many chefs and restaurateurs out there doing amazing things and putting amazing flavors on plates in Charlottesville that we are so lucky. So support us, support them as well.
Mr. Lancaster has this. Can you put in perspective the sacrifices you have made to run the businesses?
It's time. It's time away from family, time away from friends, and that's the biggest sacrifice. But luckily, I've found a partner in my wife Jennifer who believes in me 110% and stands beside me and is able to take on the role at home, because she has an impossible job in herself, taking care of our two girls when I'm not home. So just being able to have a partner in my wife, Jennifer, both from the business and at home, and then having my two girls make the sacrifices worth it, because I know that they're at home loving me no matter where I am.
Scott Aaronworth, the Esquire in Virginia Beach, he loves you. He says, I will be there in 10 days to support the restaurants of Charlottesville, and he cannot wait. He calls it his, is it your eatcation? Scott Aaronworth, I think that's what he calls it.
I think so.
I'm responding, I love you, man. literally just responded that to Scott. Charlottesville, Virginia. You know this city as well as I do here. What are your thoughts on where we're at? I mean, you talk about quality of life we know is off the charts. That's why we live here.
Mm-hmm.
We love UVA. We got a lot of stuff we can do with our kids and our family now that we're family men. I love the sports scene. I love the breweries and wineries. I love the hiking. I think the cannabis piece is going to blow up here in Charlottesville, which I'm all about. I think it's going to be incredibly impactful, positively for this community. That being said, for all the good, dude, this is quickly becoming just like a playground for, wealthy folks, man. I mean, finding a home in this town that is affordable is so hard to do. There's no rentals. The starter home or first-time home buyers market is brutal. I mean, how do you look at Charlottesville, both pros and cons?
I mean, I look at Charlottesville with hope. I hope that everyone who lives here can find their place here and be respected here. I know there are deep, deep wounds in Charlottesville, some of which are never going to be able to be healed. But I think if we move together and respect one another and listen to both sides, listen to everyone, we're going to find, hopefully we'll find that we start moving in the right direction and find homes for everybody who wants homes, find food for everyone who needs food, and just taking care of our neighbors like I know this town can.
Our friend Peter Traverso watches the program. Peter, you in Cali right now? Is he in Cali?
I think he's in Cali, yeah.
Peter Traverso, I love you, man. Let's get a Bo Williamson sighting on this show here. Bo Williamson, if you're watching on one of these social channels, please leave your mark on today's program. This is an interesting question, and I guess it's a reflection or a response to the cannabis comment I just made. Any aspirations of infusing that as an ingredient in any of your menus? That's from Spencer.
Once it becomes legal, yes.
It's a no-brainer, right?
I mean, once it becomes legal and it's regulated, I would imagine, like alcohol is regulated. We'll follow the rules and we'll do our research and try and create something that's safe and enjoyable. And if it's something that we think is going to fit within the multiverse, and if not, we won't. But we won't say no to anything. We'll try it all, and if it doesn't work, we just take it away.
This is from Jennifer, not your wife, another Jennifer. Jerry, can you ask Harrison about the love he has for his wife?
I love my wife more than anything in the world. She literally is the first thing I think about when I wake up and the last thing I think about when I go to bed. Without her, I would not be able to do what I do, and I appreciate her more than anything.
What's it like running a family business with your spouse?
It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard.
That's what we do here.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard at home because I'm not as home as much as I want to help, and when I am home, I try to help in the right ways, and sometimes I don't. And she is definitely also my biggest critic and my biggest supporter. So listening to her and having her opinion is important to me, no matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent, because it's just that important to me.
Definition of my wife and I in this business. This is a personal question from me to you, something I've struggled with. Dude, I'm working my ass off. I know you are too. And I struggle with navigating this role of like provider and like paying the bills and knowing as an entrepreneur that like you're only as good as that day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like the guilt I feel for missing so much of my little boy who's 3. Mm-hmm. Like I missed him take his first steps, mm-hmm. And that sucked because I was here working. Mm-hmm. But I know that I have to be here working, to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you navigate that guilt?
I mean, you just have to realize that what you're doing is for them. It's also for you.
You feel that?
Oh, 100%. But at the same time, while you're doing things for them, you have to take time for yourself within that period. And I'm realizing that I'm going to have to. I've been working too much, and I have to find some time where I can get to the gym and just have moments where I can work on me, because if I'm not as strong as I possibly can be, I can't be as strong as I can be for my wife, for my kids, for our business, for our customers, for our employees. So I need to be both physically and mentally as strong as I can be, and realizing that on the bad days, if I'm having a bad day, I'm allowed to feel my feels. I try not to run from emotions that creep in that are both negative and positive. I try and live them all and deal with them all in a way that allows me to move forward and become a stronger person.
William Leong, watching the program right now. I think he's a contributing chef at the Underground Kitchen in Richmond. I'll throw this out there. I've started some therapy as well. And the reason I'm throwing that out there is because, like, a lot of folks see, like, with this show, just like, alpha and strong and confident. But, like, it's not always like that. And, like, sometimes it's like to use your phrase, like, almost a front at times. And it's a front that it's like almost the expectation that I need to be this way because this is how the public sees it. When the reality is, a lot of times for me, there is like vulnerability and like uncertainty and like...
And that's why you have to feel that vulnerability. In my opinion, this is what's worked for me. I can't say that it's going to work for others, but for me, being able to understand that vulnerability and utilize it and turn it into something that can then be a positive is something that I've learned through therapy. Is some of the things that I felt were negatives of my personality are actually some of the things that allow me to progress and be kind of an outside the box thinker, and to really feel my feels when I'm having them and not run from them. And if I'm having a bad day, reach out to a friend, reach out to someone. And if you're having a great day, maybe reach out to a friend that you know is having a bad time and just say, hey, I'm here. If you need me, love you. And if you're having a bad day, say, hey, do you mind if we talk? I mean, it's just for me, that's what's worked for me, is talking when I need to talk and being introspective when I need to be introspective, and just not running from any of my emotions.
How would you characterize your personality makeup? I mean, there's some introverted there, right?
Oh, I'm very introverted. I'm
Yeah.
painfully introverted sometimes. And
Like, how hard is it to do this?
honestly, this isn't that bad for me. I've known you for years, and I trust Charlottesville. I trust Albemarle. I'm willing to be honest to them because they've helped me and made me who I am for the past 12 years since we opened Brookville. So I'm so appreciative to every single person that lives within this area. So I feel it is becoming of me to be honest with them because they've been so helpful and gracious to us. But it's just kind of, you got to live every day and feel all your feels. And if you're having a bad day, to say I'm having a bad day, but you still get through it. The day will go, you'll fall asleep, you'll wake up, and you've got a next day. I think one of the best pieces of advice I ever got as a chef was way back when I was in San Francisco, probably 14 years ago. I had an awful service. I was on the saute station. The grill girl, the chef who was on the grill that night, had a horrible service. The chef took us outside, absolutely obliterated us, just yelling at us. But then at the end, he said, come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new service. Today doesn't exist. So you within this industry, I think, is one of the coolest things, that every day you have an opportunity to do your best. And some days you're not going to do your best. And you have to be honest with yourself when you're not doing your best and really say, okay, what did I do today that made me off my game? And you come back the next day and you learn from those mistakes, because it's the mistakes you learn from, not the successes.
Well said. Gwendolyn has this comment. This is one of the best shows I've watched. It's so rare when men are able to discuss this most delicate topic of mental well-being. What's your response to that?
I don't know. A lot of the response that I got was that I was courageous for saying what I said, and I don't believe in that. I believe that courage comes from police officers and the soldiers protecting us and people willing to put themselves, the firefighters, in harm's way. I'm just being honest with myself, and I'm being honest with the people that I trust. And I don't think or see that as a courageous act. I think that is just me allowing people to see who I truly am. And I can't be the best version of myself if people don't know who I am.
Olivia Branch, we love you, Harrison. Thank you for using your voice, sharing your talents, and being the amazing man you are. I echo that, Olivia. And obviously, I'm getting emotional here because we have some history, and I think you're a great dude. What do you want to see for this business and how it contributes to your legacy?
I really don't think about that. I want to create a place that my kids can be proud of, that my wife can be proud of, that my kids' friends can be proud of. I hope to be able to have my kids' friends work for me one day. I hope my kids want to work for me one day. And that's all I want. I want to create a place where people who work there love to work there, and that we can grow from there, and that'll allow us to grow. We create a family that can get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and just have the trust of the individuals that come in, and just have them know that I'm literally working as hard as I can to do the best that I can for them. And I'm going to have bad days, and I apologize in advance for those bad days, but I'm also going to have great days. And the great days are going to be more and more and more and more and more. So that's really what it is. I just want to create a place that people believe in, people feel pride in, people are happy that it's a part of the Charlottesville food scene. I want Virginia to be proud of me. This is my home state. I just want people, chefs, customers, my family, just to be proud and know that we are being as transparent as we can possibly be with our ingredients and our cooking and our treating of our employees, in our treating of our customers, and just be honest with people, because that's what they deserve.
Let's highlight, we had Melissa Closehart on this show. Executive chef at Junction. Junction, I don't think, has opened since COVID. Now a key contributor to the local kitchen with her husband, Matty Hart. Matty Hartwell. She mentioned on this show her battle with alcohol and her push to sobriety. And Melissa recently has celebrated some very important milestones when it's come to sobriety. And addiction is rampant and prolific in food and beverage, certainly in the back of the house. Another chef this comes to mind is Jason Alley. He's been very vocal and open with his battle for addiction and his push for sobriety. Jason of Pasture and of Comfort fame in Richmond. Iconic restaurants. Put in perspective your time as a chef working the line in kitchens. The battles with addiction, not just in general, and the importance of prioritizing sobriety and other ways to decompress and manage stress in this industry.
I mean, first off, I want to congratulate those two chefs for the absolute hard work. I said other people who are courageous. It takes courage for both of them to be as hardworking as they are, to persevere and to become, and just to be the beaming, amazing people that they are. I love them both, and they're both amazing people. And I personally, it's not something I'm familiar with, unfortunately. I don't drink. If I do, it's to drink a nice glass of wine, Virginia wine or a Virginia beer. But so it's not something I am very familiar with. I was the chef that went home and went to bed, which probably comes from being an introvert. I wasn't a go out and get whatever after work kind of guy. So I can't speak to that. And I feel it would be unfair if I did speak to that, because there are other individuals that have gone through it, are going through it, that are much better advocates and much better voices for that aspect of this industry.
Chef Michael Matarazzo, such an important message for our kind of chefs. Bravo, chef. This question via text message. Please bring up all the dogs he provided to the community during COVID at no cost. Beyond incredible. Beyond incredible.
I'm guessing it's the meals.
Yeah.
We did what we could to help our community and fill in gaps because there's so many amazing organizations in Charlottesville that feed an unfortunately high number of people that need meals. So during COVID, we just tried to do our best to produce and provide meals for those who needed them and kind of fill in the gaps where it was necessary because of the amazing groups that exist in Charlottesville that are here to provide those services. We just wanted to help them, help feed people, and we were just lucky that they honored us and said that they allowed us to cook for their customers and their individuals, and we looked at them all as customers and tried to produce the best food that we could using local ingredients for them as well.
This is from Grayson, who's watching in Crozet. What are his plans for the future for Multiverse Kitchens?
My plans are to grow it and grow it and grow it. Trying to figure out what brands work and what brands can go to different cities and just be a proponent of Virginia-grown produce. And just try and support local farmers and produce delicious food in as much of the Commonwealth that'll allow us to produce it for them.
Steph Jones, your father was a class act, Harrison. This question's coming in from Richmond. Where are you located and how can we visit you this weekend when we're watching UVA football?
We are at 1747 Allied Street in McIntyre Plaza, just down from some of the landmark businesses that you pass is Circa and CVille Coffee, but McIntyre Plaza itself is an amazing location. So many amazing companies, The Hive, you name it, there's something for you. The CVille Skate Shop, where I just decked out my daughters in skateboard gear, and it's really just an amazing group of businesses to be associated with, and I'm honored that Woodard Properties allowed us to rent the space and helped us create a space that was absolutely impeccable. I give them so much credit and so much appreciation for allowing us to just be one of the businesses in McIntyre Plaza. And if you haven't been recently, you guys need to come. You could literally spend the entire day going store to store and find something amazing.
Gwendolyn Cassidy, are you open to adding other local brands to Multiverse Kitchens?
Once we figure out the systems and put the systems in place for our current brands, the whole idea of Multiverse is that there are infinite possibilities, so I'm not going to say no to anything. I'm going to say yes to everything. We're in the business of saying yes, so once we figure out the systems of this first couple months, that's when we're just going to start asking and reaching out and seeing if there's other people who have voices and want to do pop-ups, or really there is an infinite possibility of ideas that can come out of this kitchen.
Olivia Branch, that's the best lamb burger I have ever had. This is coming in from Twitter. Richardson Thompson. He says this: what would Harrison Keevil suggest for a family of 4 that wants to visit Multiverse Kitchens this weekend?
I mean, that's the beauty of it. We have something for everyone. You just have to go onto our website, multiversekitchens.com, and kind of browse through our order here section and just figure out what you want. If you're in the mood for breakfast, we can do that all day. We've got, you name it, we've got it. So like the father that I am, I can't pick out one dish that I love more than anything, and I just stand behind everything that we've created.
Kelly Lewis, welcome to the broadcast. Love when you watch the show. Kelly, the barkeep and mixologist at Public. Jeremy Walters, I'm looking forward to seeing you this fall and checking out the new place with old friends. This from Twitter as well. Can you tell us the secret recipe with those cookies? Damn, they're good.
It's my wife's recipe. No, that recipe has been with us since Brookville. They are the original Gen Pen cookies, and I've just put different fillings within them. It started off as the bacon chocolate chip cookie, and we've got a regular chocolate chip cookie. Now we've got toffee chocolate chip cookie, chocolate chip, oatmeal raisin, chocolate oatmeal. Like, it's a pretty freaking good cookie. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a really good cookie. All right, we'll close on this. You got got a lot of people watching you, dude. Message to Charlottesville, to Albemarle, to Central Virginia, and all those folks that are watching.
Honestly, it's that we love you all. We appreciate everyone who comes into our business to allow me to cook for them. Please understand that I will be in your debt for the rest of my life because you are allowing me to do what I love. I appreciate my family, my girls, my wife, my friends. I appreciate this city and this town that we live in. And if you ever need someone to talk to, you can find me at Multiverse, literally, and I will take time for you.
Well done. Awesome interview. Wish you the best.
Thanks, bud.
Thank you for joining us. Wasn't sure where I didn't think the interview would go, to vulnerable and emotional and places like this, but I'm glad it did. All the best. I think you guys are going to crush it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Harrison. J-Dubs, if you can show Chef where to go here, we appreciate that. Maybe on the screen, studio camera, real quick. Multiple folks are asking Harrison Keevil to open in multiple other locations around the Commonwealth. I got someone saying, come to Short Pump. Someone saying, come to Richmond. Scott is saying, come to Virginia Beach. Harrison, thank you. You have a good one. This dude is A+. A+. Support the people that make the community better for all of us. And he and his family are undoubtedly embody that statement. We got to now, in this uncertain time of COVID, and this, whatever this new normal is, we gotta prioritize the brands and businesses that we want to see push and make it to the other side. And maybe the other side is vaccinations, maybe the other side is health, maybe the other side is grabbing a hold of this pandemic as we've grabbed a hold of flu, of smallpox and chickenpox. We have got to support the businesses we want to see make it to the other side. And if you watch this interview with Harrison, and I encourage you guys to listen to it or watch it again, please, you will see a man that is unafraid to showcase vulnerability and raw emotion. And if he's willing to showcase vulnerability and raw emotion in front of so many people on every social media platform known to mankind, can you imagine just how damn good his food is? If he's putting his heart and soul into an interview like this, what is he doing with the food that he prepares and cooks every single day? And I will emphasize and reiterate what Harrison just said. We have chefs like Harrison Keevil in this town, in this city, in this county, in this region that pour everything they have in their bodies into their menus to make us, the customers, pleased and hopefully coming back. There's no more competitive industry in Central Virginia than the restaurant space. And for men and women in this space to put their life savings on their line, to take second mortgages against their house, to rack up credit card debt, and to pinch and save every penny possible for the possibility of creating a menu that you and I may or may not love. That is courage, and that is risk that many of us will never know. And we must support and champion that risk-taking and the business models that are birthed from that mindset. That's today's show. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you for joining us on the I Love CVille Show. We appreciate you viewing and watching and listening today. Take care.